Evening all. Thanks for coming in. Right, first photo. How many was it? We got 189 photos tonight. That bit I'll come on to later on. Right, these exhibition shallots and pickling shallots. These were for myself and my mate who asked me to get him some for our show this September. And he told me a couple of weeks ago that he ain't going to bother showing at all. Meaning he didn't want me shallots. So I'll give these two away, one to Andy, one to Paul, who are in our gardening club. So hopefully they can do something with them. Right, I had a prezi off Jeffrey during the week. 11 quid that cost to send. What did he send me? He's a good little lad. Now if you look at all the names of them, we'll have a little sneak preview in there. Anybody recognise it yet?
I do.
He sent me a load of Gladys. Jeffrey, you're my good lad. Obviously he's had these lot. He's as mad on Gladys as I am. No, probably more actually. But I think he sent me one of each. So they look nice and clean, nice and decent. Right, if you remember last week or week before, I'll give Ange, like them to me two mates, Colin and Alf. When Ange come down the shed last week or week before, I showed him my book, get her one of them, and then I had to go down to Wednesbury during the week, and I went round and saw Alf's Mrs. Carol and get her a book as well. So them two are out of the way, and then I sent one to my mate in Chesterfield. I had to go and see my mate in Wednesbury, an allotment site, to get some heavy leeks off him. While he was there, he also gave me this heavy red cabbage. You got a bit of battering getting him on in the motor. But if we look at the base of the stem, two nice white roots coming out, and the plant is telling you, earth me up. So I did with my own compost. I have to look after the chap till I can sort him out. Basically, I got a couple of pot leeks off him. These are for the heavy class. More than if it's on. If it ain't, I'm showing down South Wales as well. I think it's the 7th or 11th August, mid weekday. But he gives us two lots of different leeks. So you can see two there which have already been potted on, and there's another two I've got to pot on later on. There's the hound upstairs. I had to pad it so I can look out the window outside. Right, this is in the papers during the week. Basically, Environment Secretary George Eustace. So I've emailed him, told him about my composting methods, see if he'll take any notice. Doubt it. Somebody's asked us to put this back on again with a foliar feeds. Epsom salts you can get from the chemist if you ain't got one. Liquid fish if you're interested. Any hydroponic shop. The charge is the beetle frass. Max your crop, you don't get that anywhere, we'll go and plug it. Anything the seaweed basis, beautiful stuff. Don't forget, use rainwater. Right, checking my onions in the garage, make sure there's no spurting. But as you can see on the left, there's one just started to spurt there. So I got him out before he started affecting the rest of them. Delivery down the shed. This was the first delivery of compost. I got 2 pallets coming of the clover. Luckily, we just run out from last week. I flogged the last bag, so I got a pallet, and I got another pallet coming this week as well. But clover again, that's winning every time for us. So just in case we get a bit damp, a couple of damp evenings, I'll cover them up as well. Look at that for a cloud. I thought I'm going to take you a photo. I ain't seen one like that before. Pieces of 8 or a B or whatever you are. blue skies, beautiful. And that's the most goat muck we've ever had on site. We've chocker now with goat, chicken, rabbit. All I'm waiting for is the spent ops. But that is beautiful stuff. You can break it up by hand. Right, the two spare pot leeks which I had, I've got to pop them on. And I'm using, because there's two again, same size, I'm doing another try with using clover mixed with vermiculite and my own compost. So this is the first one with clover and vermiculite. Bit of mycorrhizal under his arris. So that's the clover one, and now my compost. You still see the bits of eggshells need to be broken up, but they'll get going. Bit of mica under him as well, and planted him out. So the two largest pot leeks, which are still in the pots on the far end, which are up there, that's how he gave me those two. So these two have been potted on here. So I can pick the best one out if there are any shells on. I'm just hoping there are, but we'll see how it goes. If there are, they'll be eaten. Right, blanch leeks. They need collars going on them. I want to do blanch leeks, which are the long ones. I'll cover in a minute. Also the intermediate leeks, but because we got two classes in our schedule, but they start off both from these blanch leeks. These collars are 9 inches long. You measure from the root plate, which is obviously right at the bottom, to the veil. That is the veil where the leaf joins. Like that leaf has split, so it's coming away. But if you're judging leeks and that veil hasn't split there, if he had split, the exhibitor to take him off, then you go to the next veil. So he's nice in contact. So you measure from the veil down to the root plate. That's what the exhibit will be doing, and the judge when he's judging them. This is from our schedule. Class 10, we got leeks 3 long blanch. So they've got to be 14-inch minimum. So they've got to be over 14. So that's from the veil down to the root plate. Obviously, the longer the better. But I haven't put collars on yet because I want some girth around the leeks themselves. Quite a few people have got them on. Well, they start them off early, but they use lights and everything. I ain't using no lights, nothing. And the one underneath, intermediate, is a 6-inch to a 14-inch max. These are leeks as well, what we call intermediate. Not many shows have intermediates, but if you get stuck and you can't get the 14-inch minimum, instead of people wasting the leeks, they can put them in this class. And it also works out with the pot leeks, because the pot leeks are the stumpions, but we'll come on to them later on. But it's exactly the same thing. If people get pot leeks and they're over 6 inches and they can't show them, then they've wasted the leeks, which we have had people. It's happened to them. So then we bought in a super pot leek class, which is for 6 inches to 8 inches. And it works that road, but we'll come on to that in a bit. So out of the 12 blanch leeks, I want to get 6 of the thickest, which are them lot there, and these are what I'm putting the collars on. Because the collars are going on these, I've already got a nice thickness around there. So I'll bung them out outside, obviously a windless day, bit of sun as you can see. Get my collars out of my tyres, and those are the Velcro strips which I got from Wilco. So these are the collars going on, 9-inch don't forget, and then the small Velcro tyres I've got, and some longer ones. But the piping is a pipe lagging. Obviously that's split right down the middle. The splits are already in, you just got to go down with a knife. But they open up nicely to go around the blanch leek. And all that's doing is drawing the leek up because he's looking for daylight. Plus this greening of the leek that will go white because it's blanching it. There's no light getting onto that leek, the shaft of the leek itself, so it'll turn nice and white, which is what the exhibitor wants and the judge. My Velcro, these are from Wilco. I use them for a lot of things now. They're perfect for tying up. So there we have, and when they are closed up, you pull the Velcro tight, and the seal there is beautiful, obviously because it's a clean cut all the way down, but it works. So I've got 6 now with the covers and 6 without, and they are on. You can't see that very well, but they are there. So those will be the me intermediates. Get a bit of meat on them. Right, pot leeks. I've got 6 pot leeks. All I want is 2 for each class. If we go back on this one, and then pot leeks, 2 pot leeks up to 6 inches, and then I want 2 super pot leeks from 6 to 8. So if we go back on that one, basically I'll have 3 for the up to 6 inch, and then I'll grow 3. These will be in the tunnel back of the garden for over 6. So I shall put them, when the time comes to put them out, I shall pick the 3 that look identical to each other, i.e. size wise, and pick them out that way. But that's what we'll do with them. Right, earlier on, Dennis Barry from South Wales did us a talk and a show around his plot, and he showed his onions. And somebody on here asked for some onion seed, but we didn't get the name. So if you're watching tonight, when I unmute everybody again, if you let us know it was you, and he'll send you some seed in the post. Right, my first Zoom. I've had 3 Zoom talks this week. This was my first one to Tatton Park. This was because I should have taught there Sunday for the show itself. Obviously that was cancelled, so I did a talk here on the plot for them. And as we 45 turned up, which was good for them. I don't think they've done many. That was off them. And I'll make up a writing just to say how much we enjoyed your talk last evening. A number of our members contacted me to say thanks for your talk, basically. I should be planning speakers for 2022, be in touch again, hopefully, for a personal talk in the village hall. But they enjoyed it, went down well. The woman who sent me that email, she also sent me these photos about her compost heap. This is what I had out of her heap. Hive, meaning it was too dry. There was a compost heap after I took the hive out. As you can see, it is dry as a ferret. So now I know how to look after it. This was put on, if you remember our talk on reaming. It's quite a few people seen it, and now they've started getting the rock dust. Paul Parkin, I only heard about this year, courtesy of Mick Partney, and she added to my planting out mix. Too many great comments being made regarding reaming. I'm improving the mix. So word is getting out. While I'm on that subject, if you can remember, I think it was Nigel at the end of Jennifer's talk on the rock dust. I'm sure it was Nigel asked her about foliar feed or using it as a root drench or something.
It was me, yeah.
Sorry? What's foliar feed?
It was me, yes.
Yeah. So I thought about it, and I've ground this down. I thought I'm going to give it another trial. So even after grinding down, I took all the lumps out. Got me a sprayer, little sparing. Measured me water out, rain water obviously, and bunged it in. Give it a good swill. When the sun had gone off everything, this is the top of the garden, I started mist spraying everything. I did all the shallots, everything in the greenhouse, and then it started blocking up. So the little chap on the end, a bit blurred there, but you can see him. There's a bit better, you can see him better now. But it has got 4 holes in the bottom. I just sucked the liquid up, whatever, meaning it was clogging them up. So I've got to think, well, I put that on for a starter, but that didn't work either. So we'll come on to him later on. Right, Scott asked me during the week. This is something that I was going to do last week for you. Talking about my manures. As I mentioned, I like all my manures, and the more you can get, because there's different feeds in them and all this. And this is what we're looking at: cow, horse, sheep, pig, poultry. Right, NPK, we'll cover that later on as well. I don't want to delve too much into it because it is baffling. But most of you might have heard NPK, but you can see the different ratios of different ones. And pigs are funny. Not much pig manure around here. But this is why I like using all different manures, because everything has got something which other manures don't, like ratios or whatever they, well, it's obviously whatever they're eating in it, whatever bedding they use as well. Some of the strongest, which was chicken and pigeon, because they are strong, and you don't want to, if you've got plants out, or if you're going to plant anything out, you don't want the roots being i.e. too strong for the roots, or harming the young seedlings or whatever you got out. So with those two, I dry it out and then put it through the shredder, meaning it comes out in a better form, meaning you can use that as a fistful instead of one big dollop. And now it is weaker, which is better. Llama and alpaca muck, you can use that straight away. There's no strength in it whatsoever. You can put, in fact, I'll put some out during the week. So if you've got even seedlings, you don't put it down there, but it is a good brew. Another good one, rabbit muck. You can use that straight away as well. And that was my bag of alpaca and llama. Beautiful. Leaf mould, another good one. Although it is a manure, because it's a manure of a tree. You will still get worms in leaf mould, as you can see there. There's a few about, but it is more bacteria and fungi that break down the leaf mould. But it is another natural product, so I class that still as a manure. And the best one out of all, obviously, is your own garden compost, plus your worms. So the reason, if I'm going to take them out, I'm using this as a drying medium when I'm potting something on. If I'm top dressing with raised beds, then those stay in there. Right, advantages of organic fertiliser. I'm trying to go organic, or do it, not with exhibition. I can't see anybody exhibiting who's organic all round. But I wanted to show you this one in, where am I? There's little or no risk of toxic buildups of chemicals and salts that can be deadly to plants. Years ago, when I first started exhibiting, if you've got a tunnel, i.e. you've got a raised bed, don't forget, years ago they used to have trenches, the leek and onion men. A raised bed is a trench upside down. Now if you've got it under tunnel, there's no rains to wash out the salts, and that's what I'm on about here, the salts. Because of the fertilisers you're putting on, the salts build up over the years. And leek and onion men, and I used to do it myself, the tunnel up the back of the garden and the one on the allotment. At the end of the season, I'd go down and I'd have a hose pipe on it for at least half hour, and I'd drench the whole of the bed. All I'm doing is trying to wash out the salts. It's easier that way than sending for a salt test. And they say you should get too much salt then, and you got to put something else on to counteract it and all this rubbish. But if you can use organic fertilizers, then you're better off because you don't get the salts. Right, NPK. Nitrogen encourages green growth. Phosphates or phosphorus soluble form. Essential for healthy growth and good for roots. Potash, what's the same, is good for your fruit and your flowers. So if you think of a tree, so nitrogen is at the top, so that's for your leaves. Then the health of the plant, like the trunk and whatever, and down to your roots. And then your potash would be for the fruit and the flowers. That's just a little aid to memory. Right, NPKs, these are your major nutrients. People just think of NPK. So N is your nitrogen, phosphate or phosphorus, potassium or potash is your K. People forget about these three as well. These are major nutrients. You've got your trace elements, people know about them. But a lot of people forget about these three. You ain't gotta feed them, you ain't gotta do nothing. Where's me wassits? Right, your calcium. My calcium when I've done me composting is my eggshells. That's what keeps my compost neutral. I've never had to put lime in. So your calcium is your lime. Your magnesium, I use that as a foliar feed. Epsom salts. Bloody internet connection. Jesus. So I'm using Epsom salts as well, although it's in a foliar feed. But my fruit trees during the year, they do get a fistful each plant about halfway through the year. And the sulphur, which was mentioned a couple of weeks ago, if you remember, Nigel was giving us that talk on the gladioli. Do you remember him cutting one in half? He got two good eyes on it, two good shoots. And then to clean that wound or look after it, he put sulphur on it. So there's your sulphur again. Trace elements, you can get these from Chempack. It comes in a box and they've got all the trace elements in it. I should have got a photo. I'll get one for next week, hopefully. Right, iron nitrogen. When you see a bag of fertilizer, it'll give you the NPK. Because this was in German, but it is iron nitrogen 19 to 1.5 or whatever. But we flogged that down the shed. I first heard of this a few years back. The farmers down south was using it, obviously, as a high nitrogen feed. And they found out it was good if you got club root. And that was the main reason I was getting it for the shed. But that is high nitrogen. This one is your P, your phosphates. This one is triple superphosphate. The one we flogged down the shed is superphosphate, just normal superphosphate. So this one has got no nitrogen. Oh yeah, your NPK. So there's 46%, and then there's no K in it as well. And on the other end, this is high potash. This one was potato fertilizer, plus it's got extra trace elements. So that'll be a good one. I've had this one off eBay. I haven't seen this before, but I've used them before for garden supplies, as it says there. But I didn't realise they did fertiliser as well. But that's just to show you the different ratios in NPK. And the one we sell most of down at the trading sheds is Grow More, because it is a balanced fertiliser, meaning they haven't got to worry about giving them the wrong NPK because it's balanced. It's good for everything. And there's couples down our site, and all they have is a full bag of Grow More every year, and that's the only feed they ever use. Obviously, if you're into exhibition, you've got to look into it more. But dry mold works, and that's why we sell the most of it. We had a talk off Dave Thornton a couple of years back when I was chairman of West Mids District Association of the NVS, and I got him to come down and give us a talk. And these are I've had these sheets off him. Right, very high nitrogen. This is what likes Brussels sprouts, needed, cabbage, and there's one which people forget, rhubarb. When I give me talks on a year on the plot, and I start off with rhubarb, just as at the end of the season when it's dying off, and I say I take all the dead leaves off and whatever, and then I top dress with manure, and I'm the first and last to be getting rhubarb, because I feed it during the year as well, and I use my liquid osmuck. So the next one down, that's very high nitrogen. High nitrogen, beetroot, celery, leeks, spinach. Not many people grow celery nowadays. In fact, I don't think anybody's ever grown any on our plot. Medium nitrogen, artichokes, calabrese, collies, spuds lettuce. Low, asparagus, runner beans, onion. Snip, swede. Very low, carrot and radish. And zero, peas. They don't want none at all. High nitrogen, urea, you don't hear much about that nowadays. You can still get it and get it on eBay. Well, I think you're going to get anything on eBay. Nitro chalk, that's one we flog down the shed. Ethanol, I also have that, and dried blood. Although it's just got blood there, just say it's got to be the same one, dried blood. I used to get the ethanol and the dried blood from our local button factory. That 30 odd year ago. That used to be cheap as hell. Potash, sulphate of potash. That's what we do that. That's the only one we do on the trading sheds. And phosphate, super phosphate. Rock phosphate, you can get that off eBay as well. Basic slag, I used to be able to get that from the shed. I remember first off when we started, but we ain't be able to get that for yonks. I know you could get it from different works years ago, whether that finished up. Anyway, Epsom salts, mentioned that earlier on. I'll use that as foliar feed. Raw onion leeks, feeding program, organic base, fish, blood and bone. If you can remember, Jerry gave us that talk on fruit, and all he uses, because he's likes his organic method of growing, is fish, blood and bone, which is what I did a couple of days. Fish full around every fruit tree, and dry blood as well. Johnny's base, flog that down the shed. Was not many, it's only the old ones that used to use it. Very, very few of the new ones have started using that now. Nitro chalk, I also flog that as well. So that's just a little insight into the NPKs. Hope you've learned a bit. I don't want to delve in too much more. I bloody confuse myself anyway. Another little Prezi, and there's the hint what this one was from. Show glads. Sent away for some new corms end of last year, and these come through. Open them up. There's always one which is out of stock. You've got to get in there really quick. But these Lisbeth I asked for were not sent from Holland, so it's weird because I was late in ordering, because they never had them in the first place from Holland. So that they sent me Celine as a substitute. Celine, I haven't got a photo. This is Sue. This is a Primula, a little small one. I love these, so I've sent for $2 of them. This one is Florence Nightingale, and if you reckon, notice that photo is from Nigel Coe as well. But this is a beautiful Glady. I don't know if I can zoom. Oh, I don't know I could do that. Bloody Nora. See the little tinges in the side. Oh, there's a bit of yellow there, then a bit of purple, just off. It's a beautiful Boston Glady. Look at that. I've learned something else. I'll probably cock this up now. So that's Florence Nightingale, but it is a corker. And that one is SE. That's a premium as well. So I sorted them out. Right, back to my book. I think it was last week. I've now, if you haven't noticed there, I've updated this today. I've got 5 reviews on my book, which I need more. Gavin Lewis, Sam, Flighter 66, Norm Western, and Wax Away. They've given me a nice write-up. But the more write-ups I get, then they get heading. So if you remember, doing a bit for me, Tom. Right, back of the garden. There's quite a bit opening up now, slowly. It's got to go nice, 8 Wednesday or Tuesday or Wednesday. And then back to crap again later on. Right, TV upgrade. Our old telly is down here. This is the living room where we come in. But we had to upgrade. Bunged him on the wall. Well, I bended while he was here. Before I put it up, it'd have been upside down, inside out, and it would have. These, when they first come out, I think that was 600 quid. I'm down to 300 now. So that was our holiday money from this year. Right, compost corner. I'm going to use this now if anything every week is to do with compost. The last of me bracken, if you remember, I was drying them out, and every week I was taking these old bits off, which I've dried out, and putting them in my bag. But this just about completed. Well, it isn't by now. This was 2 days ago. So that lot is ready to be composted. Eggshells, I clean them out, wash them out, dry them, and then put them in the microwave. Not on high, next one down, 3 minutes. This is me and the hound ripping up my egg boxes and my loo rolls and my paperbacks. Them pages going in as well. Right, nice dry day, so I've cut the grass again. Meaning I've got more grass cuttings ready for me composting. Right, a couple of bags of carrots from Lidl, chopping everything up. And what I do with the carrots, I take the core out. I don't use that. I put them aside. Them are for me worms. They're going to eat them, we're going to eat them. Something else is coming into flower now. Not flower, but into growth. You don't want your nettles in flower. I did chop some last week and use them, but they should be a bit bigger now. Now you've had a bit of rain on them. Full of nitrogen, don't forget. Another good one, which is even better, comfrey. That's just started spurting as well. If they do go to flower, you can use that. But another good one, high nitrogen feeder as well. Right, this is last week's. This is what I saw, but you lot didn't. Right, I'm just knocking everything off here. I zooming everything up here. And this bloody thing come up, which should have been on, but this proves that it wasn't. So I'm going to do it now. I'm going to click off. Choose first and second. And, Jeffrey, you've trodden some muck, mate. Good man. So that was a first one. Next one, first of all, bloody struggling in. Jesus Christ. Right, we'll do the next one. Second place on the old worm wheel. Oh, no. Oh, Ray Butcher. Yeah. You stick out on the old there, Ray. Oh, look. These people. So, Ray Butcher, get in touch with us via email. And just let us know your address. I'm now going to This is what I'm getting. I'm now going to try this wheel. Jeffrey, I know I can see you. Can you see that going round? Or not, that wheel?
No.
No. Shit.
Not going round, Mick.
Eh?
It is slow.
Yeah, I can see it.
Can you see that spinning?
It's jolting round.
Thank God for that.
No.
Right, this is this week's. Oh. Lynn Griffith. So that's the first one for this week. Second one. This is bloody working. Oh, Jesus, H. Was it last week or week before?
Oh,
I'm going to ban
2
it.
weeks ago.
I'm lost for words. Good on you, Paul. You've got the holiday. Well, at least the wheel's working. Good job.
Unusual for you to be lost for words, Mick. I tell you what, Mick, it's unusual for you to be lost for words, isn't it?
Our Ben's going up tomorrow. So at least the bloody wheel's going. Right, when you get your charge, you can either mix this with half a bag of multi-purpose compost, or if you've got anything growing, just get a pinch and top dress it round anything that is growing. It's another manure, beetle manure. I should have mentioned that with my manure, shouldn't I? Right, this is Scott's mucky. Scott, do you want to talk on this for 10 minutes? That is a good size mucky.
10 minutes, good, yeah.
No, you're all right.
That is, although we're not allowed to touch the muck, that's the farmers. So that is just purely, we can get the runoff and that's it. But when that rains, that's like a lake.
Oh,
beautiful.
But you're allowed
so
to take that.
Get me wellies on, get wading in there.
How come he won't let you have the muck?
Can, yeah, but not. I did ask him. He uses it for his fields, I presume. I don't know. He said, "No, you can't touch that, boy." He goes.
Oh, so, then on.
But he said that black stuff. He said it's better than any baby bio. He said. So,
yeah.
So I go and fill my container up. So
brilliant.
Yeah, every now and again after a rainfall. But yeah.
It's beautiful stuff. We've lost ours now. I've lost my contact for my liquid.
Is that cow muck or horse muck?
I think it's cow,
No,
but I'm not sure.
Well, it don't matter if you call use it.
Cow.
No.
Just for that, Scott.
That's it. No. No worries.
Right,
Where's
Paul,
that at, Scott?
you're on.
In Essex.
Okay.
Right. This is my first tunnel in Bottom of the Garden. When I first started, about 2 years ago, I had them buckets. The next picture, Mick. And that's when I had my first raised bed. I had some scaffold walls given me. One of my friends off the lot was leaving. So I did 6 metres by 3 metres wide. The beds are 6 metres long by, I think, nearly about 3 foot wide.
Yeah,
and about 3 foot deep. On the bottom, I've got cat litter there and some broken rubble. And same again, I've started filling a bit of compost in the bottom of that picture. And it's all black membraned inside as they rot. Next picture, Mick. And I started filling up there with compost, guinea pig, rabbit, tea bags, eggshells. There's a good mixture in there. And what else is going in the top of this compost? There's rock dust as well. Rock dust, grow more. And every year I'll keep popping it up with horse muck, as Mick calls it. And guinea pig, every year I keep topping up this. And Friday I topped up with 6 bags of grow more. Not grow more, clover. And that's last year's Osmock from heaven. I had 50 bags last year to top it up.
Good
And the
job,
next
you
picture,
look
Mick. I know. Next picture, Mick. And that's the end of the year with my chilies. Down the middle, we've got some reapers. And there's the tea bags. I'll just rip up, I dry them out and rip them up and sprinkle them across as they dry out. And that's just pure Osmock on the top. That's this year's load. I had about 18 bags this year. Top her up. And the next one, Mick. And last Friday, I come back from work. Got 6 bags of clover, topped it up to the top, and it's all ready to go. And same in the pots down the middle. That's had all smoking, and every kind of shit I can get hold of.
Yeah, you got nothing
I'll be
planted out
listening
yet.
to Mick. What's the put in there? There's another picture, Mick. And that's the middle. Ignore the mess on the right. I'll tidy all that up. Them 3 big pots I've got. I had reapers in them last year and I want the black-eyed reaper. This year, hopefully, they'll be the same. Full of chilies. And a few tomatoes.
Only grow chilies, Paul.
No, I'll grow tomatoes as well. I'll grow all sorts, but I'll concentrate on chilies. I've got all sorts going at the moment. Cabbage, brassicas, onions, shallots. I like my chilies. They're hard to
Paul,
grow.
how many chilies in that pot there, mate? One.
This pot?
You know, one of them big pots in the middle. Do you just have one chili plant in there?
Just one. I had one last year. You see where the blue pot is? The back. That's where that's one of my banana plants. And I had a reaper in that and it filled that. It was about 3 foot tall.
Yeah, because someone told me to best to restrict the roots on a chili.
Now, I find it done well, to be honest, in there.
Yeah.
They've all done well.
Bigger the pot, the bigger the yield, so I'm told.
I saw a video on YouTube called the Dorset Naga, and they put three chilies in 3 different pots. It's on there now. And they called the big one Nigel. He was in a big pot as big as that. And he produced 2,000 chilies.
Yeah. I grew I sort of, not been hard, just in my opinion, I used to grow a lot of chilies, 30, 14 varieties every year, so I come away from that a few years ago. But in from Greenhouse Sensations, the chili grow, 3 planter with capillary, and they were in 9-litre pots. I grew 3 and it produced 850 chilies.
And that's
in a 9-litre pot.
I mean, this was I see it on YouTube, we see it was a 2,000 litre pot and it produced 2,500, something like that. It was a stupid amount of chilies on one plant. It was huge. But I'm trying that this year. See what happens. Next picture, Mick. And I'm trying this. I found this up Briley Hill. Clover Professional. I was told it's got more feeding and it's got better stuff. I'm going to try some seedlings tomorrow.
I think it's the same as the general purpose clover, but like you said, it's just got a few more nutrients in it.
It's got a few more in it. Instead of having like 4 weeks, like your normal clover, it's got 12 to 15 weeks or so feeding there. So we'll try. Watch this place. Okay, Mick. And that's one of my babies. I think that's a Naga, Wiper Naga. There's doing well on the lights.
Is this what they look like now?
Yeah, that was took the same day when I sent you the pictures. And doing really well. I'm foliage spraying them with tea once a week. I just had a tea dosing. And I'm trying the rock dust, but it's like you said, it's clogging up.
Yeah. I'm still trialing
and
it.
I'm trying calcium spray. The calcium spray, that's doing well. Yeah. I think you need a better jet or something. It's blocking up.
A mist.
But the bit I sprayed, the ones I've got a sick bay outside or in the coal house. Yeah. And they was looking really sick, these chili was. And my cabbage is looking a bit sick, and I thought, I'll give them a spray of that. In less than a week, they've gone green, picked up.
Jeffrey, you got your hand up?
Just prove
you got
it.
a question, or you want to go for the pedal?
Sorry, Paul, I missed that. What?
No, just a comment. I think if you want to use the rock dust as a foliar feed or foliar spray, I think you should dilute it like you do, but instead of putting it straight into the mister, put it through a coffee filter. You know, the paper ones?
Yeah.
And then use that.
I find that way. I'll try that.
Good idea.
Or just filter it all out and just have the juice out of it.
Yeah.
Instead of the rocks.
I use a coffee filter, Paul.
Yeah.
And if you're driving down roads, you'll come across them things that stop outside the road that you can cut a piece off to put your coffee filter in. Bollards. Somebody will have chucked a bollard at the side of the road and nobody.
Yeah.
Get one of them and cut it off to the size of your coffee filter. And that way you can put your coffee filter in and then put your rock dust through that.
This picture here, scorpions, I forgot about them the 1 week. And I watered them and they looked really, really bad. I thought I've lost them. I got these seedlings and I sprayed them with some cold tea and left them overnight. I looked next day and whoosh, straight back up. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Just a bit of cold tea, and now I've separated them and got them about 7-8 inches tall now.
And just say that with the rock dust there, what I've done, I've put rock dust in some fleece. You know, fleece, what you put over as protection.
Yeah, and put it soak it in a bag.
I've made that like a tea bag, and I've just put it in a bucket. It is changing colour, but it's very, very slow. It is.
What I did with mine, I got a little spray, and I got the sledgehammer and smashed it up as the best I can. A small glove, but there's still little bits in there.
Have you got a blender or nothing? Got a blender you can use?
I don't, but the missus will kill me if I do use that.
Get a Chapman from Lidl.
I've tried calcium eggshells. I've ground it out and sprayed that on the plants as well. That's doing well. That works well.
It's another good enough. Right,
Calcium
thank you for that,
eggshells
Paul.
just ground up.
Cheers, Paul.
Thank you, boss.
Thanks, Paul.
Okay.
Right, this next one, this is my second Zoom this week. This one was to Borsal and District Horticultural Society. These were in Coventry. As you can see on the top, 45 coming to this one. But this one went down well as well. They ain't had many. Right, my strawberries, if you remember I think it's last week, I cleaned them all off. I cut all the old dead foliage off and took that away. Now I'm going to re-top dress. I've got me goat muck, 2 bags in the middle. I've got me rabbit muck and 3 bags down here. So this top dressing is from last year. Don't forget anything that's planted out, like under here, this is breaking down weight nicely. Once that cover comes off and I do plant out, then I will top dress again with any manure that's got straw in it. Exactly the same as what I'm doing here. So this straw is still there from last year. It hasn't broken down over the year. Sometimes it does. It's all according to what manure you use. So the side of the netting comes up on the cage. So I've started top dressing on the left hand side, as you can see, and I'm just surrounding each strawberry plant and working my way along. I've done a lot there. So that's a rabbit muck. Don't forget, with the rabbit muck as well, that is a bonus because you've got manure in between or mixed in with the straw. And that because the goat muck has been rotted down, it's over 2 years old, and you can rub it out buying this beautiful stuff. I'm putting this down as well on my strawberry bed, give them a good feed ready for when they kick off. Put the netting back down, keep not just only the pigeons and the birds when they do start fruiting, but also the other birds, because they start nicking the bits of straw for nesting or whatever. So that's why it's undercover. Right, if you got anything on the windowsill or in your greenhouse, although that is right at the side of the glass, these lot head towards the sun. Sun comes up here, goes down there. So you've got to, like, that's them lot there are telling me turn me round. So I did. Now they're pointing inwards. If you don't turn them round, they'll be drawn that much, they'll go out of shape, it'll bend them. So if you've got something on the windowsill, turn them daily, or some of that road, look after them. Right, me two lots of Gladys. These lot were from Jeffrey, and these lot was from Showglass. So they went in a big tray, and they are now in the garage on top of me other trays. So that lot, I think there's only the 2 trays on the bottom that are empty. So I've got air movement around all these others, which is what you want in the garage. Nice and dark, nice and not cold but cool. You know, there's no warmth in there. I know some people have put things on Facebook groups and whatever that they've got 2 and 3 inch spurts on them because they've been kept in a warm area. They've started them off already. Like mine, there's no sign of, or very few signs of any shoots whatsoever. Right, my second trial with the rock dust. Getting a bit again, giving it a good stir, pouring it back into me little water bottle, what I use, pouring this out slowly. Them dregs at the bottom, that got thrown onto that large cabbage which is in that pot. So there's very little sediment in here whatsoever, and that worked. This is just for watering, i.e. using this bottle. So I've still got a trial with it as it is a foliar feed. But for watering wise, it is ideal for that. So this is now another extra feed which everything will be having. So that's another new one. And for the ones that have paid up their dues, I have 22 paid up out of everybody who watches. This is £1 a week I asked for, if you remember. So you're lot to have paid up, i.e. PayPal or what's it be. What I'm doing now, because I know the rock dust is hard to get, there's very many places you might be bloody miles from buying some rock dust. So a little money bag. I'm going to put some crushed powder in for you. And if you just email me, get me address, stamped addressed envelope, and I'll send you a dollop of rock dust powder so you can use it as an extra feed for your plants or whatever you want to use it for. Right, this was using... Sorry, yeah?
Hey, Nigel.
Yes.
Can you go over the payment? You said you was going to include it in the email, what to do. I received nothing.
Well, that was only for in there for people that they know about it. But just send them well, it's supposed to be £1 a week by PayPal or whatever means you can get money to me.
So how long is it going on for? Do you want like a £5 or a £10 or what? So I'm doing it every week. That's the best thing, Gage.
Right, the first bloke, M. Greenaway, put a £5 in, Geraldine Chambers £4, 5, 5, 5. Scott's put a £5 and a £10. He's top of the tree. 7, 5, 5, 10, 6, and then I've got 12 £1 I'm paying weekly. So it's up to you what you put in.
We didn't know about it either.
Basically, the prize is 20 quid. The Zoom is £3, so it's 23 quid a week. I've got 69 quid. So that's for last week, this week, and next week. Is that explained?
I'll bring them sometime next Saturday.
Good man. Only up to you, I can't make you pay. I'm just asking to help us out. Because I ain't going to do it for...
And the boys round.
No.
I think it's only fair that people pay because you have to like pay for the Zoom.
I do.
Oh.
How much have you got left for me, Mick?
I should have a perv. Right, this here, this is the last of the frozen joints we had for Christmas from Tesco. This was the last joint. This started off gas oven at 150, that's the lowest, and this was on at 10:30 in the morning, and it was slow cooked all day, and it turned out posted. Beef dripping for the taters and all.
How many joints did you get from Tesco then?
That was only because it was cheap. Only Christmas. Look at that, Yorkshire puddings. What was the veg? Spinach and purple sprouting. Kids loved it. Right, that was me doing the paper round this morning. I see this little chap on the footpath. He was still alive, so I put him on the grass. That was my good deed for the day. Right, quick change of that's the state of me greenhouse at the moment. Obviously, if it is nice and cool, or it ain't blowing a gale, it ain't raining, then I'll open everything up. And the windows are wedged open as well. Right, change of scenery. When I was in the mob doing the cod walk, obviously that's Iceland in the background. That was my last and best ship, HMS Tartar, tribal class frigate. Bloody cold up there. Anywhere we go over the world, you get the RFA, which is these lot, Royal Fleet Auxiliary, and they fuel us while we're at sea, or Jack Strait Transfer, which is obviously throwing over cargo and stuff to keep us going. So we can stay at sea for moons. This is why I was up there. There's our trawlers, obviously getting fish. And these are the Icelandic gunboats. And all they're doing is dragging behind them chains. And what he wants to do is go straight across his stern, and that chain will cut through his nets. But we headed him off, which means stopped him getting around there. If anybody's interested, because I shouldn't have, but I've took a video film of it. It's on YouTube. Just put HMS Tartar Cod War and you'll see the film I've took on there. Right, this one was my third zoo. This was last night. This was a Q&A with Darren. He's the Laughing Gardener. He's known as you can see there by his bloody wazzing. He's a BBC radio presenter. He has been for 15 years. And the Zoomers, this was for Tetnall Garden Club, Wolverhampton Women's Institute, Wolverhampton Horticultural Society. So there was loads of us on that one, and we was on for over an hour, just us two Q&A-ing anybody who come in. But that was good, worked out well. And that was just thank you lads for your entertaining twosome, very useful and practical advice for everyone. While you were there, I've ordered a mixed book and a small compact one. But because I usually go to them and obviously do my talk, but obviously they've had to have a Zoom to keep going. But that turned out well. Right, stuff that's coming through back garden. This little chap there, let's zoom in on him. He's either Lover's Lies Bleeding or Bleeding Heart. You don't know the proper name, somebody will recognise it. But he's coming back again. That's nice when he's out. Alstrom area, these lot are started up again, and the delphiniums up the garden, those are starting through. Sign of spring, that's what we want to see. Love me delphiniums. Hydrangea, I think that one is on. This chap, I can't remember his name, but there's no sign of any growth on him yet. Obviously some are early, some are a bit later, ain't they? Alstrom area again, love them. Don't know what that is. But he's got new growth down here.
That's the rhododendron, Mick.
Is it good, man? Thank you, sir. And me climbers have started going green and started. I've got to put them on my wires again. Obviously, I meant to take this off during the week. I ain't had time. All the old stuff, but I will take that off. And then renew any wires so I can train him down there. Down the side of the, what's it again? Bit of colour, top of the garden. Couple of bulbs coming out. And I've got to take these away. Well, I've took them with the hound in case he bloody hates them. Like me, hates anything. And the bluebells and white bells, the majority of these have just started coming through now up the other side. And the wires up there. Steve, yes mate?
Could you get that fencing from me, that green fencing?
This one here? eBay?
Yeah.
I can find out. I'll just look at one of my old emails. I'll have a nose. I'll get the link for you.
Yes, please. I've got 3 Shih Tzus.
Oh, I'll send you the link and I'll put it on here for anybody else as well.
Thanks, mate.
I was looking for about 20 minutes because some of them, it's alright.
Thank you.
I better write that down now, I know. Because my memories. Fence. Green. Dog. That's 3 good 8 to memory. Where am we? So this is the top of that right hand side. There's a rose there. You just make out. Another delphinium coming through there. And that was the Leander, is it? Leander? Something like that. Exhibition shallots, top of the garden. Right, these are enclosed, obviously with twin wall clear roof on, plastic roof, but all the front is open. As you can see, this has been top dressed as well. When I did put the straw on, I think it was a rabbit. No, that was a straw from last year, which I bagged up. So I think this is the 3rd year I've used this straw, and there's still nuggets in there, as you can see. So, and this doesn't blow away. Oh, bloody Nora. It is plugged in. Bear with me, troops. Here's now. Right, when these are planted, like anything else, when it's planted out, and then I top dress with straw, I then water. I don't water first. Meaning I'm watering whatever I've just planted, plus I'm wetting the surface of the straw. Like if there's any wind later on, then that won't blow away, it'll stay there, which it has done. But that's with every bed, every raised bed. Next bed to that is my pickling shallots. 5 of them went out, as you can see there, and they're starting to pick up now. And this is me Bougainvillea, my Spanish plant. Remember me nice bright pink flowers. He's in the kitchen and he's going haywire. I ought to trim him really to thicken him out. So I'll shape him ready for next week. But he's doing well. As soon as the frost's out the road, he's going out. Right, this is Ben's avocado. We started from scratch. Probably a couple of weeks when he was here over Christmas. He's been here since. Going back tomorrow. But this is the state the chap's in now. A couple of weeks ago we chopped his head off. Obviously he's still got to survive. So he throws a young one out, and there he is. He's just coming into leaf now. And when he legs it tomorrow, I've then got to look into when I can pot him up. because obviously the main route in there is a tap route. But he's doing well. Something good for the kids to do. And this is the front of the garden under the kitchen window. I've got a azalea there. Aaron, the youngest, he bought man that for Mother's Day. Was going out the back, but poisonous to dogs, so it bunged out the front. Alstrom here again. See the protection these walls are giving it, because the state of them now. Them doing superb. And the bulbs which I transplanted earlier on, them are coming through as well. And Corbett, I'm looking forward to your book where it arrives on a mission finally get to grips and composting. Your book is brilliant, Mick. Why have I put him in? Ronald Nutt. Right. Let's show you why I've showed that bit. Ronald Nutt. Haven't seen him for 55 years. This was at Shockley, Ipswich, when I joined the mob. This is the mast I used to have in the drill yard, which is obviously here. The field gun I've just done a bit. When you joined in the annex over the road. I can't remember, probably 6-8 weeks in the annex. If you passed that, which was grueling, then you'd come in here, which would be still grueling but less grueling. They got rid of most of the crap the other side. But with a mast, everybody has got to climb to the devil's elbow, which is that one there. You can go further if you want, but it's bloody oil. These are the chaps going up, and the chap at the top, he's called a button boy, and obviously he has to volunteer, and there's a little bar there, lightning conductor, and that is the only thing that's holding him on. Meaning if there's a bit of wind or something, it's going to hang on for dear life. But as I say, 55 years ago, Gordon Bennett. That's gone now. Well, he's still there, but it's in the right state. Right, this was Saturday down our trading shed. Last Saturday and this Saturday, for the first hour, we was chocker. That's why I had to get another pallet of compost. But I had a lull, so I was weighing out maxi crop, as you can see there. So we're getting the containers, and I weigh it out in the half a litre dollops and flog it next door, as you can see there. So there's maxi crop, Jay's fluid, tomato feed, and our Millitox with flog liquid in the bottles. Couple of photos on the plot. So these are my raspberries. They've started coming through. So that bit of straw on top of them as well, that's protected them. We've had a couple of decent frosts. And this is in my tunnel with my vegetable, and this spore and my runner bean is gone out. There's another runner bean I'm going to bung out there next week. Obviously these are undercover in the top structure. And one of my first fruit trees to go into leaf is my blackcurrant, which is there. While I was down the bottom orchard, I got one of these up top orchard and the bottom. If you've just seen there, there's some little chap still asleep. I don't know who that'll be this time. But I'll have a nose every week. See when the chap comes out. And Blueberries doing well. A couple of dahlias. And my bottom wooden structure on the bottom of my half plot, which is my scaffolding netting. The top is still off, but I've got my onion sets out there. One thing I didn't do, which I normally do, so I was rushing about again, to put my wires on these just to hold them up, to help them keep them upright. So they'll be going on during the week as well. So that's my first lot in. My second lot, which were coming down here, were going in. But I've decided to donate them to me mate who needs them more than what I do. And my rhubarb, this is me heavy rhubarb, if more than shall be on. There's a class for 3 sticks of rhubarb as well, heavy, and this is what this lot's for. So we'll see how that goes. Plus the first dollar per rhubarb I get off it, then that's when I make me wine. Because rhubarb wine is a good strong one. It's nearly as strong as parsnip. Parsnips are good. That's a bit blurred, but the top orchard, there's buds on a few trees now, just started opening up. Mark come down the plot, he works for the council, and he gives us the pair of overalls, high vis. You're going to run over wearing them. I said, bloody hell, the size of them, we could both get in it. So me and Jared got in a leg each. But we couldn't do it. So Jared had him in the end. Once he put them on, he wouldn't take them off. But he slept him and last night and all, knowing him. That was took tonight. So the door's on again. I'm still heating that end, don't forget. 50 minimum. So this lot is open, and them will be going out very soon. And the hound, all his babby teeth are started coming out. Look at them, no wonder when he caught you. I'm like bloody fangs, ain't they? Look at his little face. He's a corker. Little this morning shopping, thank God they got me medicine back in again. I'd run out of cider for 2 weeks. I'd been in mourning. Then I saw these. Size them Yorkshire puds. Pete's sake, this was in the paper this morning about Westland Horticulture. I've got to start looking, see if I can find their compost. Because it's supposed to be the dogs. 18 years research and they've spent 38 million. Jesus. All I've got to do is read my book. Make their own bloody compost. Gotta look into that crap. And that's it, people. Hope you have enjoyed it.
Austin.
Let's get out of this crap. Close that one as well.
The winner.
At least the wheels, the worm wheel is working.
You need a new mic, Mick.
Mick?
Yeah, someone, when you're talking, it goes a bit...
No, that's the weather. I think that's the weather.
Is it?
I've had
the
internet connection. What's it's coming up?
Internet connection.
Yeah.
Your light makes a funny noise.
Mick, have you ever fan trained a blackcurrant?
No.
Easily done. Easily done.
A
blackcurrant. No, Mick, can I interrupt you there?
Yeah, of course you can.
A blackcurrant, because it glows as a black currant, will not grow as a flower of corn, really, because it's a stalk. Red currants and white currants, yes, not black currants.
Okay.
They can try, but because they work out the ground as stall, they don't grow the same way as you will the other currants and gooseberries.
No.
You can thin them out and make them look good.
You can contain it into the area that you want it to. Just
you can go through you can cut back a third every other year, or every third year, cut back a half, or as I do, just cut the whole lot back down when they grow up again. I've alternate bushes with fruiting wood and non-fruiting wood.
Okay.
Thank you for that, got that message.
Thank you.
Cheers, Jerry. Cheers, Donna. Anybody get any more questions about anything tonight?
Yeah.
Yes, Jeffrey.
To Jerry Edwards as well, if it's possible.
Yeah.
I've got a quince tree.
Somebody's got a telly on in the background. Can you help us out, please?
That's better.
I've got a quince tree.
Yep.
and it's 5 years old.
Yes.
It's now about 2 meters high, and it's starting to flower now. But do I prune it, or don't I prune it?
No, you're too late to prune it now because you'll be cutting the fruit and flowers off. Quince trees do need pruning because they grow very haphazardly, as you probably know. Best time to prune them is you can thin them out in the summer, but if not, prune them in the first month of the year, which is January.
Yeah.
When the leaves are off and you can then get to sit and just open the centre up a bit.
Cheers, Keith.
It's nice and open, but I don't know.
We don't need to
prune it.
You don't need to prune anything if you don't have to when you're growing it as a tree. You're growing as a tree, aren't you? As an open tree. Yeah. You don't need to prune it. Just keep the centre clear. Remove any dead, disease or damaged branches and anything crossing. Otherwise, you don't need to prune it. Let it grow. Let it grow. A lot of people prune for the sake of it when you don't need to. If you're growing as corns or fans or espaliers, etc., you need to prune every year. But trees, you don't if you don't need to.
Okay. Thank you.
Lovely. Any more questions, people?
Yeah, Mick?
Yes, Jeffrey.
You showed so last week what I won on the wheel.
Yeah, you won last week's.
Yeah, but if it's too heavy to send, can you redo the wheel next week 3 times and put my Prezi on there for everybody else?
Well, I can get your Prezi in seeds-wise.
Okay.
Because you want heavy parsnip and all that rubbish, do you, for next year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, otherwise, if it was too heavy or something, you can just pass it on to the others in here.
Let's change it to something else.
Very kind of you, Jeffrey.
That's only normal, I think.
Hey, Jeffrey.
Yeah?
Them seeds you sent me, the chili plants or the fruits.
Yeah.
And they're doing really well. I've got one at least 10 inches tall now. I've renamed it the yellow jalapeno. They're doing really well.
Yeah, these here are doing okay as well. I sent you a pic this week.
Yeah, I saw them. They're cracking. So hopefully in another couple of months they'll be going out in the tunnel.
Yeah, same.
But it's a bit warmer.
Halfway May month.
Oh, hopefully at the end of April, hopefully. I'm hoping.
We got the summer, every Wednesday.
Yeah, for a few days.
Cheers, Suzanne.
Oh no.
David Bradley raised his hand. Yeah. David,
what soil content do you use to get the best growth out of blueberries?
Nice ericaceous, isn't it?
Nice ericaceous, ericaceous soil is absolutely ideal for it. Nice leafy soil, woodland soil. They grow in woodlands, and that's right. That's the wood. Compost, fantastic.
So it should be more of an acid soil than what's in the compost. Then don't put me on.
Yeah, I mean that should be acid if you can. Just think where they're coming from. Woodland, quite acid soil.
And are they best grown?
Rather like rhododendrons and azaleas and camellias.
Oh right, okay, I'll get that sorted.
Okay,
Suzanne.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, doing that.
Who's talking next week, mate?
Nobody yet. Oh, we've got somebody doing a cooking demonstration.
Cooking?
Can I ask a question? Does the fruit man make
chili pie? Of course you
can.
Yeah,
I'm still here.
Still here.
Of course.
What about the slowberries? What do they actually look like? The plants?
The slowberries.
The bushes.
The slowberries. The bushes are very, very exceptionally thorny. Great long thorns sticking out up to half an inch. You really can't miss it. You put your hand in, you get your hand ripped off. But those little black berries, black berries at the end of the seeds, which would take your tongue off if you ate them.
What about? When's the best time to take a cutting off one? We can find one.
You could start doing hardwood cutting now, I guess.
No,
but if not softwood cutting, they'll start getting some good cuttable material, I guess, in August, September.
Okay,
they are vicious. They are vicious.
I'll have a look for one.
Cheers,
yeah, try.
Cheers.
Jerry, can you hear me?
Yep.
I have a tree that started off as a bush, but now it's a tree and it's huge. And it has plums on it, but they're yellow. Any idea what it is, Jerry?
A yellow plum tree.
Is it a plum?
Yeah, you can eat them because I've had them loads.
Green gate.
A green gate. It's one of those. Is it? How big is it?
At the moment, about 40 foot high. And
No, I was meaning the plums. Did you plant it?
About plum size. It has a mass of white flowers.
Did you plant it?
No, yeah, I planted it. I moved it. It was in the garden when I came.
Are they oval or quite round?
They're oval.
Well, it's very hard to tell like this. Are they sort of freckled with little brown bits on it?
No, they're just pure yellow.
Well, it could be something like Ulin's. It could be something like Ulin's gauge, which is that if it was yellow with freckles, it could be purple, yellow Pershore.
Like
without seeing them, are they sweet to eat? Are they ready cooking only?
They're just like a plum.
Cheers, Scott.
Yeah. What do they like to eat?
All right, they're quite nice.
Well, probably something like Ulin's golden gauge, as we used to call it. Ulin's gauge is one of the possibilities.
If I take a picture next week, will you identify it for me?
It's more difficult. Whilst I identify apples, plums and gauges are harder because we identify them, would you believe, by the stones. But yeah, let me see a picture next week and I'll give you an idea of what it might be, yeah.
And then I'll take another picture of fruit forms.
Yeah, you do that. Very happy with that. I should be along next week.
Just don't know what to do with them. I don't know whether to make wine with them or...
Eat them or jam. Jam is very popular nowadays. Plum jam, very popular. And neighbours, friends, relations, the pub, you get lots of these things. People are very happy to have them.
Well, I've been giving them to homeless, but it's getting to the situation now, not homeless, these homeless centres. Well, it's getting to a situation now where there's that many, you know, I just don't know what to do with them all.
And I'll tell you, my friend, you're very lucky because most people come to me and say their plums won't fruit. If you've got a plum tree that's fruiting too much, you're doing something well. Even if you're just ignoring it, you're getting more fruit than most people. So don't knock it.
Yeah.
It sounds a silly answer, but you are very, very lucky.
Yeah, got a picture.
You'll have to have it, Mick. You'll have to have fruit off it.
Yeah, mate.
You might kill it.
Cathones and plum-like fruit can be more.
Could be in there, Bella. Right, thank you, Jerry.
That's right, any time. I'll be here most weeks. Nick lets me in.
Okay.
Yeah. Jerry, while we got hold of you, fruit trees, any fruit tree, do you get a good year, then next year they have a bit of a rest?
Yeah, there are some generally in nature. If trees in the garden, shrubs, bushes, trees have a really good year, they can rest because they can overflower and overfruit. But there are some apple trees, plum trees, and pear trees which are known to be biennial, and some only do crop every other year.
Yeah.
But certainly for plums and early apples, if you don't thin them early, you can have too good a crop for the tree to fruit next year. That's just nature taking over, and then often they'll go biennial.
Oh.
If not, a brush.
Quick question, Jerry. My friend at work's got an apple tree. He had it 5 years.
Yeah.
It's one stick going up and there's two little ones in it. It puts a lot, 2 leaves on, that's it. Chuck it away.
It's very hard to say. I mean, you need.
It's never had no fruit on it.
Next week.
It never had no fruit on it.
Well, I think you need to see what it is. Where did he get it from?
Asda.
Yeah, well, you say. And if anything you're buying from Asda, Lidl's, or the other lot, so I can't remember them, the chances are they've come out of Europe. Nothing wrong with that, but there may be varieties that we cannot grow in this country.
Yeah, I thought so.
Because they're cheaply. That's a real issue that we have, people bringing fruit over. But it could wave, it could be cultivated. Where's it growing? In a pot in the ground?
It's in the ground.
I need to see a picture of it.
It does nothing, really.
I think, let's have a picture of it next week.
I'll see if I can grab a picture of him.
That'll be good.
Okay, Cheers, Jerry.
All right.
Sue, ask Jerry the question instead of messaging him. I don't know whether you can see the messages or not.
I haven't looked. No, what's the message on?
Sue Boston.
Okay then, Jerry. I was wondering whether you could be contacted at the RHS.
Yeah, you can. Why don't I just give you my email address now?
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
okay.
I didn't know you could see the messages, Jerry.
You what?
I didn't know you could see the messages on the bottom.
I can see the messages, yeah. I just didn't open them.
Good man.
So, do you want to take it down now?
Yeah.
It's a long one. Jerry Edwards Orchard Services. There's one. Jerry Edwards Orchard Services
Yeah.
at outlook.com.
Thank you.
You can call me, get me any time on that. Jerry Edwards Orchard Services.
Yeah, I'll email you the question and then
Yeah,
a bit more in depth.
Yeah, Mid Wales. Yeah, good. Yeah, plenty. Good chance you might get a successful player there. Probably Conference or Concord, but talk about that. Happy to do that. Yeah, email me. Anyone can.
You're on Facebook, Jerry?
Yes, I am. I put my company one is Jerry Edwards Orchard Services.
I'll email you with pictures. I'll message you with pictures.
Yeah, you do that. You can either do that or just as a Jerry Edwards. I've got several Facebook pages, but either Jerry Edwards or Jerry Edwards Orchard Services for my company one.
Orchard
Services. Jerry Edwards Orchard Services.
Oh, you said auto.
No, well, sometimes I might do that, yeah. Jerry Edwards Orchard Service. I'm sure Sue got that. It's our southern accents, I'm sorry.
I haven't got a problem with my tree. Can you sort me card out?
Well, yeah, if it's a classic car, I do deal with them as well, yeah. But modern cars, no. Right.
Jerry, another question. Is there any chance you could give us a 5 or 10 minutes in one of Mick's sessions about grafting fruit trees?
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, but that will be next January, next year.
Right. Well,
grafting we do in February and March.
Right.
I've just done some grafting. Budding would be in August. I don't know whether Mick's going to keep this going for another year. But he's knackered, poor bugger. But yeah, I can talk about it. Yes.
Yeah, be good.
Definitely.
I've read a lot about it, but really don't understand, like whip and tongue and stuff.
Okay.
Like that.
I can talk about grafting. Yeah, I can talk about it certainly.
Oh, I don't do a little.
Right, I'm going to go have something to eat now, Mick. So I look forward to seeing you all next week, Mick. Take care of yourself. Have a good week.
Good man.
You take care of. Look after yourselves.
See ya.
Contact me anytime. Cheers.
I'm off now as well. See ya.
Colin, you can't.
Cheers, Colin, mate.
Yeah, Colin.
You can't go, Colin. We enter the song.
You could shut off.
Bye.
When I'm cleaning windows. Hopefully do.
Cheers, Sue.
That's the windows, isn't it?
Right, people, I'm legging it as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Mick.
Thank
See you guys. See
See
ya.
you all next week.
Bye.
Cheers.
Any questions, just email me.
Take care.
Bye, everyone.
Ta-da.
Bye.